Hello, Darthvegan here, back with another episode of Kerbal Space Program Season 4. Another rocket made courtesy of Darthvegan's Kerbals on the ground. So, going to show you just right quick what this thing is made of. We're going to use nuclear reactors nuclear engines, not reactors, to go to Duna this time. And we're going to have a craft that will land on Duna, pick up stuff, and then come back. Who are we taking with us? Well, we are taking none other than Nash, Balder, Mist, and Dark. Why are we taking both two engineers? Because they can't go anywhere without the other. This particular ship will not have a rover. It's just a lander. And I did add some RCS to it, so it's the same lander we've been using for the moon. It's been working pretty well. It's got quite a bit of fuel, so I think it can handle Duna, no problem. I don't think we'll have to worry about it burning up in the atmosphere, so here's hoping I'm right about that. And then, what else? We got this big hunk of junk here to get us up into space. It's not very pretty, but I think it will work. And that is it. Let's save this sucker and get in position to go to Duna. Alright, we are here in the tracking station. What we're wanting to do is allow Duna and Kerbal to form a 45-degree angle with the sun. And you can see in the Flight Engineer, if you have that mod installed, which I highly recommend, it shows the transfer angle that you desire, which is 44.3. You always want to be at that transfer angle to go from Kerbal to Duna. And, and we are at 68 currently, but also we're at the position for the Duna ship to come back to our orbit, come back to Kerbal. So we've had that probe in orbit of Duna all this time with a maneuver node set up to return to Kerbal. And now it's time to do it. Holy smokes, that is awesome. Okay, so I guess we don't have a maneuver node set up anymore, but let's I'm so excited I can't even tell what I'm clicking here. Alright, so let's get Kerbal here targeted. Alright, it is our target already. And we're going to set up a maneuver node to return to Kerbal. Here. And let's... Oh man, I forgot to set up our satellite to go to... when we go to Duna. Forgot to set that up. Okay. So let's do a little burn here and see if we can get in orbit of an intersection with Kerbal. Alright, we have achieved an intersection with Kerbal, and it's going to be 820 delta V to get there. Alright, so that's not too bad. Let's take a look and see what we got going on here. Ooh, mama, it's an ugly one. Alright, so let's see if we can dial that in a little bit here. Alright, so we got a nice little 495,000 periapsis there for Kerbal. And it's in a polar orbit, so... But that's not a problem. I bet we can rendezvous with that ship. As long as we got enough fuel to get this thing where we need to go, I think we will be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the ship. What does this thing got on it anyway? Just science? Yeah, I think it's just... No, this doesn't have anything. Why was I bringing this back? No, it does have science. Okay. Here's the science right here, you dummy. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom around to the maneuver node here. We're going to go ahead and get this thing going towards Kerbal, and then we'll hop back and do the rest of our time warp to get Kerbal in the correct orientation to launch to Duna. And we may have to go ahead and do a couple launches, one for the satellite and one for the lander. I wonder if I could add those together somehow. I could be a monstrous ship, like put some docking ports on there maybe, and yeah, that might be doable. Let's see what we can do with that. But for now, we're going to burn with this ship and hopefully achieve this result here. It is kind of a long burn because this is using nuclear engines, so they're not exactly the fastest in the burn, but they are pretty efficient. Oop. I missed my tiny window there. Missed my tiny window. Okay, so let's go back here. See if I can burn this just a hair back. The window for the capture here is super tiny. So that was surprising. I didn't expect to miss it so quickly. There it is. Okay. Here it comes. Let me just dial in just a little bit here. Alright, let's see what we got here. There we go. Alright. Not quite as close as we had hoped, but I think it's going to work. That is going to work. And we can do a little bit of adjustment once it is in outside of the sphere of influence of Duna. We can actually do some additional adjustments. Alright, very good. So now this thing is on its way. It will be there in... I don't know. How long will it take to get there? A long time. It will take us 351 days to get there. Okay. So we got plenty of time. Plenty of time. So I am going to go ahead and set up an alarm clock. Add change alarm to sphere of influence. Let's set up a maneuver node here to add a maneuver and get into orbit for ourselves. That's going to be 360. Alright. This is going to be a tricky thing to rendezvous with. Nah, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be bad. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll set up a maneuver node, alarm, and there we go. It's going to be for 351 days. And then we can finalize this little guy. Alright, so now let's go back to the tracking station. And get this thing into position with relative to Duna here. Alright, let's scroll back out. Let's click on Duna. Alright. Okay, we're at 68 degrees. We need to get to 44.3 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and warp forward until we see this number match the phase angle match the transfer angle. So the phase angle is where we're at currently. Transfer angle is where we want to be. So let's go ahead and get down to 45, 44. Alright. And we're just going to go forward a little slower because it does take a little time to slow down. So you got to keep that in mind as you're doing these warps here. Alright, we are nice and close now. Not quite exactly, but close enough for the girls I go with. Alright, so now we are going to launch our rocket. And I guess I decided I want to go ahead and launch two different rockets. One with our Duna lander, and then we'll launch another one with the satellite, and then maybe we could do the rover on that one as well. Alright, so we are ready to launch. Just making sure we got the right Kerbals in here. No, we did not. Good thing I checked. We are taking Nash and Balder and Mist and Dark. Alright. And here we go. Ready for launch in 3, 2, 1, launch. Oh yeah. She's a heavy one. She's a heavy one. And I have no idea if this is actually going to work. The way I set this up. So, here we go. We're going to give her a try. We are going to give it a try. Let me go ahead and start angling out just a little bit here. Very slowly. It's a nice heavy rocket, so it shouldn't be a problem with flipping or anything. But I do want to make sure we get this thing in a good alignment here. These main cells aren't really big enough to launch these heaviest boosters, I haven't unlocked the heavy rocketry yet. So I'm having to use an engine that is not quite efficient in moving this much fuel. But if I hadn't used these, I would have had gone a lot bigger. The rocket would be a lot bigger because we'd have to use a lot more fuel tanks. So 6 of one, half a dozen another, right? Yep, that's what I think too. Okay, so here we go. We're about to launch or detach our first stage. Detaching solid rocket boosters. They are away. Now this rocket does not quite have the thrust to weight ratio that I need to, oh my god, it's really low. Like we're dropping. Oh my, that's not good. I was hoping it would be a little more, I was hoping more of the fuel had dropped so that we would actually be a little more efficient, but that is not the case. We're going to go ahead and burn. Our speed is not increasing, but we are still climbing because, well, you know, we had all that thrust to begin with. Now we're getting there. Okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're getting up to 0.8 thrust to weight ratio, so that's not too bad here. Yeah, so if you're gonna use these designs for yourself, I would replace some of those solid rocket boosters with some liquid fuel boosters and do some asparagus staging, and that way your thrust to weight ratio would stay high enough, long enough to get you a little more efficient orbit. We're gonna have plenty of fuel to get into orbit. Don't get me wrong. I packed this thing so full of fuel, it's fine, but it won't be the most efficient launch for sure. All right, we are up to a nice 1.37 thrust to weight ratio on this thing, so plenty of fuel to get us into orbit. Matter of fact, I don't think we're gonna have to use any of our liquid fuel from our nuclear reactors here, so that'll be great. Alright, so we are now ready to detach our fairing. Bing! Wow, that's a lot of fairing. And then we're going to go ahead and get up to our apoapsis. We'll finalize our burn, drop this off, and we'll be ready to begin our launch to Mars. Mars. No, not Mars. Mars? What's that? No, Duna. Yes, Duna. Oh, I forgot to put on my action groups for my solar panels here. So let me just do that right quick. Toggle solar panels. We'll go ahead and do these as well. Toggle solar panels. There we go. And we'll do our radio antenna as well. Where did I put that? Radio antenna. I did not put it on here. Are you freaking kidding me? I had it on here, then I changed parts, and then I forgot. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Oh, here it is. It is just behind the solar panels. Oh my god, this is going to be awful. Oh god. Well, let's see what it does. Boop. Well, it didn't break it. So, that's something. Looks awful. If I had some tools, I didn't bring any tools. If I had some tools, I could come up here and fix it. I could go on a little spacewalk. Spacewalk? Yeah, spacewalk. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get into position to do my orbital insertion burn. And I guess we'll just go ahead and drop this portion of the rocket, even though it has 1115 delta V. I hate to waste all that fuel. But, you know, here's what it is. I don't really need it. Might be able to use it to get to Duna, I guess. That's probably about what it will take. Do I risk leaving space junk up here? What to do? What to do? I only got 10 seconds to decide. Ah! We got plenty of react now with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and decouple there. Okay. And then I'm gonna decouple these. Shrouds. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna activate these engines. Oh yeah, I love the nuclear reactors the way they look. So we're gonna go ahead and burn there. Shut down. Only got one going. There we go. Now we're talking. Alright. And now we are in a nice orbit of Kerbal. This little guy should burn up in the atmosphere eventually. Alright. So, now what to do? Well, we got to plan our intersection with Duna. And then we're going to have to, before we do this actual transfer to Duna, we're going to have to launch another ship to do our satellite, and maybe even a rover or something, or a refuel station. Who knows? Possibilities are endless. Let's go here and get our Duna intersection lined up here. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. Let's see if we can just use this here to get a nice intersection with Duna. There we go. 1189. So we wouldn't have quite had enough with that other vessel to get there. It would have been close. Alright, so let's get this thing lined up to where we want it. We can of course make adjustments as we fly, but we're gonna go ahead and do the best we can with our initial burn here. Whoa, hi. No. There we go. We don't want a nice polar orbit, so no thank you to that. Alright. Coming on down to around 90. I like to have that on 90, that way it makes it easier to rendezvous with this lander once we fly back up into the from the surface. There we go. I'm not gonna do an aerial capture, I don't think, because I got plenty of fuel, so I think we'll just stop right there. Let's see. 680 is a little far. Let's go 200 and yeah. Oh, there's a nice 55. That's a little close. There we go. How about 129? Perfect. Beautiful. That is lovely. That's going to be a great burn. Okay, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to go ahead and end this episode because I'm going to go ahead and launch my my other ship. Actually, we're going to go ahead and do this burn, and then we're not gonna pass time by. We're going to launch another ship with the satellite that is needed for Duna, which is going to be this guy here. And we are also going to maybe put a rover or something on there. A nice little buffalo. And I would like to put it all in like a canister. Parachute the canister down. And then have somebody put it together on the surface. That's the ideal situation for me. So we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and just zoom around another 20 minutes to our maneuver node here. And then we're going to get ready to do our burn. It's going to be a long burn because, you know, nuclear rockets are slow. But, got 0.43 thrust to weight ratio. That's going to take forever, but that's okay. Alright, so here we go. in 45 seconds, we're going to begin our 4-minute burn. 4-minute and 21-second burn. That's 4 real-life minutes it's going to take to do this burn. So I'm going to go ahead and get into position to do it. And then we'll see you guys in just a moment. Actually, you know what? Let's going to take a look at... yeah, we're gonna do it from this view until we get kind of close, and then I'll go over to the Duna, because I like to see the beautiful purple exhaust coming out of this thing. I mean, that's just fantastic. Just fantastic. I wish it wasn't so dark. About to get the sun here pretty soon. Here we go. And engage. Oh yeah. We're off. Alright, as we're getting closer to the end of our burn, I've slowed down our thrusters a little bit so that we can fine-tune this this finalization of our burn here. You can see getting pretty close to our target, so we should see our indicator for our sphere of influence change show up here any second. And let's get into position here. There we go. Does tend to move around on you. And of course you can make adjustments once you get into space, so once you get out of the sphere of influence of Kerbal. Looks like that's what we're gonna have to do, because it looks like I might have missed my Duna encounter altogether. How did that happen? Well, just happens sometimes. Took longer to burn than expected because I slowed down. Who knows? Uh-oh. Missed it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there then. And we're going to have to do one fine tune to get our encounter back. Looks like, yeah, we're missing it by about half a mile. That's a joke. We're missing it by a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and add maneuver right here by Kerbal. That way it takes the least amount of delta V, but we can get it just fine-tune it in. There we go. Fine-tune it in here just a little bit. And there we go. Alright, I'm going to focus back on Duna, and we can dial this thing in here. So it's another 100 delta V. I'm kind of surprised that it was so far off, but let's see. Let's just dial this in here. A little surprised that it was that far off, but because I wasn't not paying attention that much. But the longer you burn, the more likely you're going to have to do a correction. That's been my experience. Those long burns almost never get you there in the first try. Oops. There's just too much drift going on. Oh, there's Ike. Hi, Ike. We could do a little rendezvous with Ike first. But we're not going to. We want Duna. Duna or bust. Alright, here we go. That ought to do it. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, so this is how far away? 4 days. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add another alarm clock here for this maneuver. So that's going to be in 4 days. Now, we're going to go back to the Space Center. And I'm going to end this episode here. Next episode, we're going to launch another rocket to Duna, and this one will have a satellite that meets the requirements of the contract, and the parts for a rover, and maybe like a little weather station, or who knows what I'll put in there. But we're going to put a lot of stuff in there as much as we can. We'll probably use the same launcher type that we used for the lander, but it won't maybe be quite as heavy. Because it won't be, it might be quite heavy actually. But anyway, it will be unmanned, and we're going to send it, and they will rendezvous with our Kerbals on the surface of Mars. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, throw me some likes, leave me some comments. As always, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Kerbals wait by the window, vaguely looking down at their saw, and hoping possibly Jebediah will come home with some rocks from Enmas or the moon. Maybe he'll come home soon. Was never what it once was, shouldn't really fly anymore. Either as if an answer with a sound like blowing up your ears. Ship crashes through Kerbin's atmosphere. Crowds gather as hundreds